DFB-Pokal hat seine eigenen Gesetze.
The cup competition got its own laws.
And welcome to RBLE Global Tracks, which is Leipzig's very first RB Leipzig podcast in English, and it's brought to you by Richard and Mario. And amongst us, we are season ticket holders, passionate supporters, and really not so neutral local pundits. Both of us have been following Leipzig football since our childhood days, so if you want to hear about RB Leipzig, capture the mood of the fans in the city, and maybe more importantly, if you want to go beyond numbers and statistics, you're in the right place. So we're delighted to welcome you on board. Let's go. Auf geht's, Leipziger Jungs. Well, good morning, Richard. How are you after this wonderful match versus Köln?
Good morning, Mario. I'm fine, very fine. I slept well 1 hour longer since we are back to, we are off from daylight saving time.
Hey, your voice is back. I'm so pleased. Your voice is back.
And my voice is back, yes, sir. I'm looking forward to the show. And yeah, let's go.
Today we're going to look at yesterday's match versus EffZeh Köln. And we're going to be looking forward to Halloween when we meet up with the German Wolfsburg in our second round of DFB-Pokal. Yesterday, match at 3:30 in the afternoon, Bundesliga match versus Köln. Completely different atmosphere before the game than when we played Belgrade in the middle of the week. Hardly any police presence. Everybody was out there in a light mood. It was really excellent. Cologne fans mingled with Leipzig supporters and tried to take the mickey out of RB Leipzig supporters because, we don't exist. We're just clients, and it's something they don't take it seriously. But one guy I noticed was a short guy with a megaphone and a Davy Selke shirt. So I'm not sure how seriously I can take him when he's wearing a Davy Selke shirt, but he told me that yesterday would be Davy Selke Saturday, just like every Saturday, wasn't it? But I actually told him Davy Selke is in the right club with FC Cologne. He's in the right club, and I asked him to take good care of him. So that's what they did, I suppose. No, it was wonderful because it was back to normal. Cologne supporters, they came out in, I don't know, maybe 2000, but they weren't noisy at all. So I support the hardcore, diehard Ultra fans boycotted us or that game. Most of the times they were sitting down and the usual insults were hurled at us, alle Bullen sind Schweine and stuff like that. But they were even quieter than the noisy neighbors from Manchester. So take that, Köln, Karnevalsverein. At the end of the day, the Leipzig supporters were in a really good mood. I don't know, kind of everybody seemed to be enjoying the match, seemed to be feeling great, having a good time. And, well, why wouldn't you? Because it was a wonderful game, wasn't it? One thing we noticed in the beginning when the starting 11 came through, I pleasantly noticed that Timo Werner was starting. And I think he really deserved that chance, especially after his positive impact with at the match versus Belgrade. And he did have a good start. And my key takeaway is I'm so relieved that we can score from penalties again. Wonderful. Should have gotten another one just to prove my point. So Timo Werner took that one, converted it beautifully. And what was also very positive, he is supporting Chance before he actually went up to the spot and took the penalty. Everybody was shouting his name. No pressure on that side. So if he hadn't converted, everybody would have been right, and Timo Werner would have bottled it. But hopefully that gave him some support, showed him the love from the people and the team, and he scored that very important first goal. So that was wonderful. But Richard, you were standing next to me yesterday. How did you see that match? What was your key observation?
My key observation, my takeaway is that Marco Rose surprised me at least with a new formation. So usually we started our games in a 4-4-2 or 4-2-2-2, so to speak. And yesterday we had a 3-4-1-2 formation. So with three center backs
Hmm.
and then four midfielders. Xavi Simmons as the lonely link between our attackers and the midfield. And finally, two attackers, which led to we have more, in my opinion, defense stability the whole game.
Now, I find that surprising because a lot of people would suspect with Willi Orban being out, the boss of our defense and so on and everything, and being really that stable factor, we would be shaky in the back. So, what really makes you say that we are quite stable in the back now?
Marco Rose mentioned it in that press conference before the game that he demands from our players that they do this. In Germany, we say it Restverteidigung, so maybe in English it's rest defensive management or something like that.
Sounds great. Sounds like a great job title
So what are you doing? Yeah, I'm a senior defensive rest manager, um,
at RB Leipzig.
at RBL. What I think was clearly the purpose behind that formation is that we have always three center backs behind the ball. And that came out to be true. So we had always Lukiba, always close to man, and always Simakan behind the ball. So Cologne wasn't able to play out one counter attack, and that was our weak point, especially against Belgrade in the second half. And not only there, also in that games against Bayern, of course.
Stuttgart.
And
Remember Stuttgart in
it
the
was
first half?
very early in the season, yeah.
Mm, same
So that
problem.
that
Yeah.
gave us more stability, and I'm excited if we will see this now more often.
Mm,
Um, and also Benny on his right side and Raum on his left side. I thought they felt comfortable with their roles, so being more able to bring in their offensive skills, um, and don't be the first to run back if the ball goes in our half.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is my key takeaway, and yeah, the outcome was extremely well, like unexpected for me at least. I guess no one expected 6-0. You cannot expect that. And
No,
I told our audience, if there is one, in our
I'm
last
listening.
podcast.
I'm listening.
Are you
It's
listening?
okay.
Okay.
You can tell me. You
and
can
I
share.
and I and I told our audience that we cannot expect from our players to work wonders, but actually they did. So I was totally wrong, which is okay in that case. Um, so yeah, but at the end of the day, so Cologne was surprisingly bad.
Yeah.
Um, I never saw them that bad the whole season. Look, they played against Dortmund, they played against Stuttgart, and they played against Leverkusen already, and never was humiliated in that game. So
Mm,
okay, they lost 0-1 to Dortmund, 0-2 to Stuttgart, and 0-3 to Leverkusen. So the main problem is that they don't score goals. And before that match yesterday evening, it wasn't their problem that they're conceding so much. So maybe they got a new problem now. We will see.
mm. Coming back to the expectations before the game, when amongst our neighbors and friends, people predicted the score. The highest I heard was 4-0. I thought a 3-1 would have been fair and would have been fine. But 6-0, nobody expected that. And then I think even if, first half ended, we were up by 4-0. If that had been the final score, I would have been fine with that, to be honest, because it was just the way they played and the way they controlled the game was excellent to see. However, there's one really sad news. Dani Olmo came on for, well, Xavi, and Xavi was bloody amazing, wasn't he? Those two assists, that he had almost scored himself as well. How is this Dutch guy? How can he be stopped? It was really amazing. I do fear that next year we're not going to see him at Leipzig. PSG is just going to keep him, but he's in the right
Mm.
squad. He's hopefully he's going to do a lot more for us, and he's young. He's young and energetic, and I think he can still play. Now he has to play because Danny Olmo came on and then got injured. Seems like the shoulder has been injured, and in the press conference, Marco Rose said, "Well, it's obvious that there's an injury, and he'll be out for a while. We don't know yet for how long, but they seem to have a plan for him to start at the Wolfsburg match, which we're going to talk about as well. And now he is out. So how did you see that, Richard? It's hard to speculate. It's not We're not here to speculate, but I didn't really pick it up in the game when he was fouled. I didn't really think that he would come away with such a serious injury.
Yeah, maybe because it was we both were too far away, so we
True.
usually are in the
And I
stands
wear glasses.
behind the goal, and that foul occurred on the other side of the pitch. So I didn't realize either that this was such an yeah unlucky bounce to the ground. So
Mm,
hopefully he will be okay sooner than later. But yeah, Marco also mentioned it. It doesn't look good.
no. And we need to apologize to the Spanish national team. He's out again. We're so sorry. We weren't able to make him match fit. So still, very positive vibes after the match, before the match, after the match, during the match. Highly entertaining, and just what a wonderful game. Even better than the one we had versus Stuttgart early in the season. Great one. Nothing to add from my side, really. I just enjoyed it. How about you, Richard? Anything else?
No, let's go. Let's go over to the Wolves, the German
Well,
Wolves.
Halloween's round the corner, and we don't have many traditions, but we seem to have a tradition to face Wolfsburg in the DFB Pokal. This time again in Wolfsburg, again at Halloween. I'm not sure what to think about this encounter. Give us some hope, Richard, please.
Introducing our next opponent, their ignorant check.
Okay, so yeah, we have beaten 6-0, and we have beaten Cologne 6-0. So, and Wolfsburg lost to Augsburg 2-3. So we're
Mm.
gonna drive to Wolfsburg on Tuesday, and will likely win 4-0 or even better. Well, it's as simple as that, isn't it?
It's a bit like your
No,
prediction
it's
in
not.
with Bochum.
Yeah, just like
Their
that.
defense is not so great.
Yeah, okay. No, it won't be as easy as that.
Yeah,
And
I suspect that. Yeah.
yeah, because okay, so clearly one thing is that Wolfsburg isn't as bad as they were yesterday against Augsburg. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, they lost at home against Leverkusen, but what they had their chances in that game. Not in my opinion that they were really able to win this encounter, but they weren't. They were not without any chances. So and they scored once. So the calculation goes like this: if Jonas Wind scores, Wolfsburg usually wins their games. So that was true at least before that Augsburg match because he scored yesterday and they lost anyway. But we have to be careful of number 23, Jonas Wind. It's a 24-year-old Danish guy
Mhm.
who's performing really strong in the box because every time he touches the ball in the box, the ball goes into the back of the net. I don't know how he does
Yeah.
this because he's now 8 goals into the season. So he had 6 in the whole last season, and he isn't new to Wolfsburg. So that's kind of nice for him personally that he has this improvement. But we have to take care of him. But yeah, we will do this with our center backs like Mo and Lukeba.
Mm.
Will take care of him and make sure that he's going to be a hard night because he's going to have a hard night. But this is not the only one who's strong at Wolfsburg at present.
Mhm.
Be aware, and even more aware, in my opinion, number 32, Matthias Svanberg. He's a very prolific ball handler. If he gets too much space in midfield, he will carry the ball deep into the opponent's territory and then make almost always something dangerous with it. So, okay, keep an eye on number 32, Matthias Svanberg. Um, Other strong players to mention is number 11, Thiago Tomas, this
Mhm.
Portuguese guy who's usually come over the right side together with the right defender Joachim Mehle. So often he plays on that right defensive side, but sometimes in midfield too. Number 21 Joachim Mehle is strong. Keep an eye on him. There was is a new player to Wolfsburg who came for like a gazillion million money from um, some French club. I think it's number 19, Lovro Meyer.
Hmm.
Is also a prolific ball handler with a nice shot from the distance. And last but not least, in their defense, Maxence Lacroix. Number
Rings a bell.
4, yeah, that rings a bell because he was somehow connected to be transferred to RBL in that 2021 offseason, as far as
Mm,
I remember.
yeah.
He's the pillar in the Wolfsburg defense, and yeah, if you want to score goals, make sure that you don't try to do this against him.
Mm,
Um, the one weak point that I figured out in Wolfsburg's whole squad is the absence of their number one, Kuhn Castells. So
yeah.
in my opinion, Kuhn Castells, he's in Wolfsburg for like, I don't know, 9 years or something like that, is extremely strong goalkeeper, one of the best in the league, with an incredible amount of consistency.
Mm,
You can rely on him every game for every 90 minutes. And he's got something like an abdomen inflammation, as far as I could gather some information about that. And he
mm,
didn't play yesterday against Augsburg and will likely be out in that encounter against RBL on Tuesday.
hmm.
So, but be aware, it's a competition, the DFB-Pokal. In Germany,
Can
we
I
say,
can I say that typical phrase as well?
yeah,
Der DFB-Pokal hat seine eigenen Gesetze. Mm.
the cup competition got its own laws.
Oh, you're so
Um,
good. It's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah, did it? And it is somehow a bit true because there are some freak games, some freak outcomes from time to time. And
True.
I guess most of us remember that 6-1 win that we had almost after exactly 4 years ago today. It was
Mm.
the 30th October 2019. Everyone remembers that, but no one remembers how we stood in the Bundesliga at that time. Do you remember?
I don't, to be honest.
Yeah, no, me neither. I looked it up, to be honest,
Come on, you
before our recording. But
you could have acted like a real smartass.
no, I know. So Wolfsburg was at fourth place, and I think we were seventh. And
Wow.
we played Wolfsburg at home 10 days before that cup match, and that game ended 1-1. And that 3 days before we traveled to Wolfsburg, we lost in Freiburg,
Oh,
1-2, and
yeah.
there was and nothing was like that we could expect. It's a 5 goal margin victory there.
Mm,
No, nothing.
true.
But sometimes those things happen. And do you remember that 5-0 2 years ago from Mönchengladbach against Bayern?
Loved it.
Loved it. Do you know what was the outcome in that Bundesliga match before that game for Gladbach?
No, don't remember.
No, you don't remember? They
Come
lost.
on,
They
tell us.
lost. They lost at Hertha Berlin, nil
Oh my
one,
God,
and they
this
were
is unforgivable to lose at Hertha BSC. Come on, these are surely this must be 3 points
for everyone.
for everyone.
Um,
Yeah, really.
and they and Bayern was on top, obviously, and Gladbach was 11th place, and there
Wow.
was literally,
Yeah,
literally nothing that
nothing.
pointed to something like a 5-0 on a Tuesday night against Bayern Munich. So I
Who was
cannot
the?
explain this, but sometimes
Yeah,
those freak games occur, and it seems to me that these games occur in the cup competition more often than in other competitions. So be aware.
that's why it makes it so interesting. But I hope. Do you think it's going to happen to us? Because look, Wolfsburg is way behind us currently. We've come off a 6-0 win, beating Cologne very convincingly. We're cruising in the Champions League. We will be sitting outside the top four, but right, we're a little bit closer now. I expect Dortmund to at least draw tonight, today, or to beat Eintracht Frankfurt, but maybe they surprise us. So, what is your gut feeling regarding our matchup with Wolfsburg?
Okay, most likely, I think we will beat Wolfsburg 3-1.
That sounds convincing. So, what makes you think that? Why are you so sure?
Yeah, because I I complained. I complained in our earlier episodes that we score goals, but we don't create chances. But somehow that changed a bit. So we created lots of chances against Belgrade. We created lots of chances yesterday against Cologne,
You're
and
right. You're right.
and to me,
Yeah.
it was very convincing how comfortable our team felt with that new formation they were put in by the gaffer. So yeah, I do believe that this is the way to go,
Hmm.
and that we will be able to create chances as well, and in our Tuesday's encounter. So that's why I think we will very likely see another convincing victory from RBL.
I'm going to give you Stefan's prediction. You know, my neighbor. Hold on tight. He said, after 90 minutes, it's going to be a 1-0 draw. We're going into extra time, and RB Leipzig is going to score very early, 2-1. And then Wolfsburg is going to throw everything they have at us, including the kitchen sink. And they're not going to score another goal. So it's going to be 2-1 in extra time. So there you go. You heard it here first. Very precise prediction. We're really looking forward to that encounter, and hopefully we'll proceed to the next round. I do like those trips to Berlin when you get tickets to the cup final, and just it's a little bit of sort of tradition, and we would love to keep it up. So yeah, looking forward to that. Anything else for the moment, Richard? So we had a quick look at. Oh no, there's one thing we still have to mention. I'm so sorry. Now we introduced our next opponent, but I think it's time for Richard's starting 11. What are your thoughts,
Starting
mate?
11.
Your
Okay,
starting 11 for, is it Tuesday? Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, for Tuesday evening. Um, okay, if I were Coach Rose, I wouldn't change anything. I would send out that same 11 guys who.
Never change a winning team. Ka-ching!
Okay, this is first, but on the other hand, never change a convinced or a team that played with so much confidence, right?
Do you see any danger in some of the players being overplayed and they need a rest, but not for an important game like that? I would say. I mean, I tend to agree with you now.
At the moment, no. So I
Mm.
said in our episode before that Cologne game that I likely will or would give Campbell a rest. So Rose agreed with that and gave Campbell a rest.
Oh, he's so good, isn't he? He's following your advice. I
He
like
is,
that.
but he
How much
had.
money did you get?
Well,
Nothing.
he was a little bit shaky against Darmstadt, and he was a little bit shaky against Belgrade too,
Mhm.
here and then. So I think this is okay to give him a rest to
Mhm.
recover himself. Maybe we will see Shesko from the beginning,
Mhm.
because I think he deserves the to show what he's capable to do
Mhm.
from the first whistle, because he showed some really strong performances in the last international break, and
Yeah.
since then he only came from the bench. So maybe this is a game where you can throw him in.
Wonderful. So we're really looking forward to that. Let's wrap things up. We looked at yesterday's 6-0 thrashing of EffZeh Köln. And we also look forward to our next match versus Wolfsburg and hoping to proceed to the next round. Next week, we're going to do our usual recordings around Thursday and push it out on Thursday as well. Just wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much, Richard. If you want to get in touch with us, we would love to hear from you at by email at talk to us at rbleglobaltracks.com. You can also find us on Twitter at rbleglobaltracks. Have a great weekend. Bye, Richard. Auf geht's, Leipziger Jungs.